right, excellent. Christian. All right, x equals negative b plus or minus. What's inside the radical sign in the quadratic formula? You weren't sitting there when I passed them out. That's what it is. So what's inside the radical sign? Keep going. Beautiful. Okay. So this part right here, the b squared minus 4ac, is known as the discriminant. Discriminant. All right. And normally we just use d for it, okay? And it's in the quadratic formula, so when you have your formula sheet, it's right there, okay? Now, the discriminant is very interesting because it's going to give us some information. Now, it doesn't give us the roots because you need the full quadratic formula for the roots, but it does give us additional information. So go ahead and write your name. All right, so first question right here. Does the discriminant give the exact roots of the quadratic equation? No. All right, so the discriminant is a part of the quadratic formula. Right, the quadratic formula is the one that gives you the roots, okay? So you're not going to get roots from the discriminant. Is that better? Why? I can't help you. Everybody else, that's the distance that you're at, can see. Right, Nathaniel? Nathaniel can see the screen on his phone, and he can also see the letters on the board. Right, Nathaniel? There's really nothing after quadratic formula. I'm sorry, that's another piece of paper. Jacoria, if you really can't see, then you can move closer to the front. We got a full class. The floor is brand new. They Okay, princess, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry for recommending it. You know, I've sat on the floor a few times, but you know, I'm not royalty. How is the discriminant related to the quadratic formula? The discriminant is the what's inside the radical sign, right? Inside the radical sign. What do we call the expressions inside of a radical sign? Please make sure you put it back down, okay? Okay. It's the radicand, okay? Remember the expression inside of the radical sign? All right, so what does it tell us? It tells us the number of roots. So for example, if we evaluate b squared minus 4ac and you get a number that's greater than 0, we're going to get 2 roots. Why? Because... Hi, student. Please make sure when you watch this video you laugh, okay, at this point, because y'all know what happened here. Yes. All right, so if we have this inside the radical and we get a number in here, right? So it's going to be a number plus a square root of a number over a number, right? And then it's going to be a number minus the square root of that number over a number. So that's why we end up with two answers, okay? All right, but if whatever you end up with here, you end up with, say, with a 16, what's the square root of 16? 4. So then it's just going to be a number divided by a number, and so you end up with a rational number versus if it was the square root of 11. So depending on whether this is a whole perfect square or not, you're going to determine whether you have rational or irrational answers. You're always going to get two roots, but if the discriminant is a perfect square, then you'll end up with no radicals, and we consider those numbers to be rational. If your discriminant is not a perfect square, okay, then your answer is going to have a radical sign, and that's going to make your number irrational. Ooh, my bad. You're always going to get two of them, but the question is, are they going to be rational or irrational, okay? Now, it's also possible that when you do b squared minus 4ac, it's going to equal to 0, and then you're only going to end up with one root. And the reason for that is, think, if this is 0, then all you're adding 0 and you're subtracting 0. Does anything change in the numerator when you add 0? Does anything change in the numerator if you subtract 0? So you end up with only one answer then, because the plus or minus is not changing anything in your number. So that's why when the discriminant is equal to 0, there's only one root, okay? b squared minus 4ac. The inside of the radical in the quadratic formula. And if it ends up being negative, there's no roots, because we cannot take the square root of a negative number in the real number system. So sometimes, in fact, the questions, Desmos can help you find the roots, because you just graph it and you get your two x-intercepts clear. But not all the questions are going to be, what are the roots? Sometimes they're going to ask you, how many roots do you have? Desmos can help you because you can graph it, right? How many times do you cross the x-intercept? 2 times, 1 time, or no times? But what if they ask you, are they rational or irrational? And then, so that's where the discriminant comes in. All right, please make sure that your function equals 0. And then identify your a, b, and c. And let me know if you have a problem with my the 1, the 3, or the -4. All right, so now it's b squared minus 4ac. It's going to substitute in. All right, let's see, what's 3 squared? 9, perfect. What's 4 times 1? And then times another 4. Is it going to be plus 16 or minus 16? What's negative times negative? So it's going to be plus 16, right? Or you can calculator. I'm just working it out in our heads, okay? So 25. All right, so this is your discriminant. D equals 25. And is it greater than 0, equal to 0, or less than 0? All right, so because it's greater than 0, we know we have 2 roots. Now, are these roots, these 2 zeros, are they going to be rational numbers or irrational numbers? Okay. So you look at this part right here. If your discriminant is a perfect square, you're rational. If it's not a perfect square, then you're going to be irrational. Okay? Please don't miss this part because it can be really easy. But if you're not paying attention, then you might not understand why we're able to make those decisions. Okay. Quadratic formula. What information do we get when we use the quadratic formula? What do we calculate? It gives you the roots, the x-intercepts, the zeros, your solutions. When you're looking for these things, the quadratic formula can help you. Also, decimals can help you because you can graph it and read your x-intercepts. So why am I bringing this up? Because we have a unit test on Friday.
What?
Yes.
I'm not going to be here.
0 for you then. All right, this one, make sure it equals 0, which it does. What is ABC?
2, 4,
1, okay. Calculate the discriminant. Okay. All right, you can use a calculator, you can use decimals. All right, let's do it by hand. What's 4 squared?
16.
What's 4 times 2?
8.
And 8 times 1 is 8, so just... All right, so what's 16 minus 8? Just regular 8, right? There you go. You can also double check the calculation on the calculator, but I find that watching my teachers do the calculations like this by hand really made me a better math calculator because I got to see some of the tricks and tips that you would take, okay? I did 4 squared, which is 16, and then I did 4 times 2, and then that's 8, and 8 times 1 is, so that's why it's minus 8. Yeah, all of this is just being multiplied together. Okay, so now the discriminant is 8. Here's the question. Your discriminant is 8. How many roots you got? You got 2 roots.
Are irrational?
They're irrational. So you have 2 irrational solutions. I'll show you in just a moment. Hold on. It depends on whether the number is positive, greater than 0. You get 2. Equal to 0, you get how many? 1. And if it's less than 0? No roots, correct. Okay, so Jaden, if the discriminant is greater than 0, you get how many roots? 2. And if the discriminant is equal to 0, you get how many? 1. And if your discriminant is less than 0, you get how many? None. Okay? Oh yeah, 0. 0 is none, my bad. Okay. Sorry. All right. All right, this shouldn't take us that long, so here we go. Uh-huh.
Is it 0?
Yes.
Exactly.
No. Hey. I said it was the right answer. I just... Okay, it's correct. When you said 0, it's correct. All right, make sure it equals 0. Identify your... Oh, so this one, put a star on this, because this is where students make mistakes. This is the ones that teachers use to see whether are you really paying attention, right, Nathaniel? Instead of just being on the phone. You want to just turn it in? And then put it completely away. All right, so A, B. B is not -3. A is in front of x squared, B is in front of x, and C has no x. So that makes -3C because it has no x. And B is 0. So this is the situation when B is equal to 0. Put a big star or asterisk next to it, okay? All right, calculate your discriminant.
0 minus 4.
What's 4 times 5? 4 times 5. And what's 20 times 3? 60. Now you see how here it says minus and then times a negative? So what's negative times negative?
Positive. Plus 60.
Plus 60. All right, there you go. Here's the question on the test. Hey, if the discriminant is 60, how many roots do you have and what type of roots? 2 rational?
2 irrational.
Beautiful, beautiful. Irrational. Okay. All right, here's another one that you need to put an asterisk on. All right, make sure it equals 0. Since there's nothing here that says equals 0, we can assume that, we're good. It equals 0, okay? So, Nathaniel, identify your A, B, and C. I'm just trying to help you stay focused, huh? Okay? A. All right, B. B. Negative 10, correct. And then C. There we go.
100 minus 0.
All right, Jaden. Does that mean you calculated what the discriminant is? You haven't. Is your computer on? Do you have your blue calculator? Okay, go get to decimals and calculate. Let's go. 0 at B. Here. We explained this. A is the number in front of x squared. So that's why A is a 5. Clear? B is the number in front of an x. Where is the number in front of a single x? Is there a number in front of a single x? That's why it's 0. And then the constant has no x. Okay, so which is a number that has no x? Which is the number that has no x? Negative 3. Clear? Now again, when you look at these terms right here, which is the one in front of the x squared? It's on your paper. Why are you squinting over here? Look at number 7, which is the one in front of x squared. Deanna? 3, right? Now look at these two terms. B is going to be the number in front of a single x. Looking at these terms, which is the number in front of a single x? Negative 10. It says negative 10x, right? So that's why B is negative 10 in this case. C is just a constant. It has no variables, okay? Is there a term here that doesn't have an x? Does this one have an x? Does that one have an x? Okay, so that means that C must be? Okay. All right, what is this? 100 minus 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 0 is? So 100 minus 0 is just? All right, it's greater than 0, so that's going to be 2 roots. And are they rational or irrational? Wait, is that rational or irrational?
Rational.
Rational, right? So 2 rational roots.
Why do we like subtract 0 as
Where?
why do we use the answer? Why do you do 101?
Because that's what this is, 100 minus 0.
Oh.
Right? 4 times 3 times 0 is 0.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can. I just... I'm making it difficult. Wow, okay. Just like I did over here, I put 0 plus 60. I just wanted to be complete, not like some of my students that they just track a 7, 8, and then it showed no work, right? Yeah. Here we go. Be thorough. Spell thorough. Oh, okay. Does it equal 0? Hey, Jaden, did you open up your decimals? Okay, good. What is A, what is B, and what is C? Okay, so calculate the discriminant. Are you sure we're all in our Chromebooks? Because that doesn't look like a Chromebook. Is it a Chromebook? He's giving me, I'm getting the stink eye from one of my students right now. Fine. Here we go. All right, 7 squared is 49. All right, here we go. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 50 is
400.
400.
Did you just say 4 times 2?
I said 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 50 is 400. Are we clear? $50 bills. 8 $50 bills is 400 bucks. 49 minus 400. Okay, your discriminant is negative 351. How many roots do you have?
Oh, that's so right.
No roots because the discriminant is negative. You cannot be rational or irrational if you're nothing. You have to be something. Wait a minute. But if it's 0 roots, that's so weird. I can't.
Don't
It's
even.
not the actual value of 0, it's the absence of a root. Oh, it's so weird to think about it. Here we go. Now this one, does it equal 0?
No, you gotta make it equal 0.
So how do we make it equal 0?
Subtract the 11 on both sides and equal it to 0. 4x squared minus 5x minus 11 equals 0. I'm already ahead of you, Blissy. That's cute.
Ladies, be nice. No cat fighting. Here we go. Jaden, this is Jaden. Let's go calculate. Find the discriminant for me, Jaden. Let's go. Trying to keep you focused so that you're not talking to your peers. It's 400.
It's negative 1. What?
No, Jaden didn't say it was -1, so it's not -1. What is it, Jaden?
It's negative 1.
All right, everybody, come on. Let's give Jaden a boost. Come on, Jaden.
Can you hurry up?
Polite boost. I didn't say be mean or rude.
Can you hurry up, please?
Thank you. Wait. Y'all trying to get ahead of the game. I mean, I don't blame you. Life is a competition and you always got to come in first. What is it, Jaden? 309?
201.
Okay, sorry. I'm partially deaf, I guess. All right, so 201 is how many roots? 2 roots. And are they rational or irrational? Irrational because it's not a perfect square.
Yes. I know you like the little bit stuff.
It does. It does have two R's. Okay, so we're not going to use the quadratic formula. I want you to use Desmos. Using Desmos, what are the roots? You guys have Desmos in front of you, right? Let's go. So we're going to graph this. We're going to graph 4x squared minus 5x minus 11.
I can see you trying.
Yeah, I brought my Desmos.
Oh, I got weird numbers.
It's fine. They're not weird. They're just not integers. Exactly. All right. So does everybody see how we graph this in Desmos? Any questions on how to graph this in Desmos? You're going to need Desmos to do the assignment that I'm about to give you. So open it up if you haven't quite yet. Abby, join us. Huh? All right, we're good. Is everybody able to get this information on their Desmos? Work quickly. You're making the video longer. Come on. Huh? All right. Is everybody able to graph this on Desmos? We're good? Say something. Okay. So what are the roots?
Negative 1.147.
Negative 1.147. What's the other root?
2.397.
2.397. Done. Squiggly. Kai, you don't have a Chromebook? Got you. All right, are you able to do this? We're good?
Yep.
All right, here's my task. Find me, using Desmos, find me the roots for number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Where's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8?
Right here. 4. Wait, I gotta. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we just did 9.
Wait, you want me to put equal 0, right?
No, you don't have to put 0 equals 0. You don't have to put equal 0, guys. When you're graphing, you don't have to put equal 0. If you take it out, you can see that you just get the normal graph, okay? Yes. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Without a lot of fanfare, find the roots for all of them. Let's go. And then bring it to me when you're done. Make sure that you put them in x equals squiggly form, number, comma, number, squiggly bracket.